Welcome in, y'all. You found yourselves locked on Bulls. We are live on the YouTube here Sunday night, which will be our Monday episode to kick off the week. I'm Matt. That's Big Dave. Up ahead on tonight's show, we're breaking down the Bulls win, getting revenge over the Knicks after that loss earlier this season on Joe Key bobblehead night. Big night from DeMar, 31 points. Zach LaVine, a frustrating night, but he bounces back with a strong fourth quarter. And Coby White haters, where you at? That's all ahead on a fresh Locked On Bulls. Let's go.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Here are your hosts, Matt Peck and Big Dave Watson.
What's up, and welcome into Locked On Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Matt Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. You can follow my guy, Big Dave, at BAW, B-A-W-L, Sports. You can follow us at Locked On Bulls. You can also hit us up on that text to voicemail line at 331-979-1369. We thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. Big Dave, a lot to get to tonight in this big win over the Knicks. A game that clearly was a Tom Thibodeau game. A lot of fouling going on. And in the third quarter, it looked like the Bulls were going to do what Tom Thibodeau used to say that the Bulls would do in bad games, which was let go of the rope. An ugly third quarter. The Bulls could not get anything going, and they were fouling a lot. Everybody was in foul trouble. But you have strong fourth quarters from Zach LaVine after a frustrating night. DeMar DeRozan, who continues to get it done despite all the naysayers. And finally, we get a breakout game from Coby White. Lots to get to. What is your first takeaway from this win?
Oh, the first takeaway is,
yeah,
man, that was a game, man. Like, both of these games have been truly fun and just truly entertaining and just good for the NBA in general. You know what I'm saying? When the Knicks and Bulls are good, it's good for the NBA. Like, this should have been the Christmas Day game. You know, this is what we should be sitting around watching on Christmas, enjoying some Bulls and Knicks. Hopefully the NBA will correct that next year. But, man, it was good. I love the resiliency of the Chicago Bulls. We have not seen the Bulls, like, really fold. You know what I'm saying? Well, you've seen them give up that bad lead in Portland and things like that. But this Knicks team, man, one thing I noticed about them, Matt, and I've noticed since Thibs has been there, and it was the same here when he was here. You can go up by 10 on the Knicks, easy. You will go up by 10 or 12 points, real easy on the Knicks. And I mean, they will grind you down to death to get that lead back. It doesn't matter what quarter it is. They will grind you to death and get that lead back. And that's exactly what happened. Bulls got off to the hot start. Things were looking smooth. The bench comes in for the Knicks and proceeds to go ahead and go on a nice run and takes that lead right on back. It's just so much fun talking about Bulls Knicks, Matt. And it's even more fun talking about it after the Bulls actually get the victory.
Yeah, I was worried, man. As we were making our way through that third quarter, I was like, oh, man, the Bulls are letting the Knicks chunk this game up. You know, Caruso, Javante, Derek, everybody, Lonzo, everybody was in foul trouble. And I was like, dude, by the time we get to 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, we're going to have nobody left. And we're going to sit here and have to watch the Bulls cough up this game. The other thing that was frustrating for me was seeing how frustrated Zach was getting as this game progressed. Clearly not getting calls still. And yes, once again tonight, a free throw discrepancy where you look at you look at the stat line of free throw attempts for each team and you're like, I thought the Bulls were playing at home. I thought Zach LaVine was an all-star. What is going on? But Billy Donovan talked about it on that West Coast road trip. It was the second time he mentioned it already this season that he noticed his guys were letting their frustration against the officiating get into their heads and cause poor play. They were letting it affect their game and their focus. And there was one moment in particular tonight, I think it was third quarter, when things looked like they were falling apart for the Bulls. Zach LaVine drove to the basket as he did many times tonight, drawing contact, didn't get the whistle, and then just sat there exasperated and stared at the ref. And what happens on the other end in transition? The Knicks have a 5-on-4. They make a few simple passes, a dunk, and I'm pretty sure it put the Knicks up by 6. And in that moment, I was like, man, I know Zach has to be frustrated, but he cannot continue to let the officiating frustrate him like that. At the same time, it's kind of hard to blame him.
And what was great about that, Matt, because I noticed that play as well. What was great about it, though, was immediately after that, Billy Donovan calls the timeout immediately and tells Zach, come sit next to me. And we didn't see Zach again until like the fourth quarter, midway through. We didn't see him again. Billy Donovan is teaching. He's always coaching. He's always teaching. And that was a very teachable moment right there. There was a lot of fouls not being called for the Chicago Bulls tonight. We saw it. Guys are getting beat up tonight. That's why when have you last time you seen Lonzo Ball get a technical foul? Yeah. I believe it when Lonzo Ball complains because Lonzo Ball's basketball IQ is out of this world. So
Caruso got a tee from the bench. I mean,
right. So they threw 3 technicals handed out, or 2, I think, handed out to the Chicago Bulls. Like, it was crazy. DeMar DeRozan frustrated because he didn't get the foul call. A lot of frustrated Chicago Bulls. And for me, it resonates more with Zach, Matt, because we know he has never gotten those calls in his time during his career here. Whether they're the right calls or whether they're questionable, he doesn't get them. You know when he gets those calls? Fourth quarter, when the game's on the line and they got to foul you. Like, it is an obvious foul and they got to do it. I mean, look at his stats, man. Like you said, he had a tough night, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists on 7 of 20 shooting. That's 35% from the field. Did not hit a 3-pointer. He was 0 for 5. But the key, guys, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. This is the second or third game we've seen, Matt, where Zach has gotten the ball in the fourth quarter when the game needs to be done, needs to be won. Give me the ball. Nobody else is getting it. It is mine. I will end this game, and we will go home winners. We saw him do it against the Pistons. I've seen him do it again tonight, man. It's great to see that from Zach. But, yeah, it came full circle after that foul call, and Billy Donovan said, come sit next to me. It was a different Zach LaVine going on there for it.
Yeah, and look, we've seen it all season long with this duo of Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. After their win in Denver on Friday to conclude that 5-game road trip, they were the numbers 1 and 2, DeMar and Zach, fourth quarter scorers in the NBA. And guess what happened tonight? DeMar was cooking all night, and 8 of his 31 come in the fourth quarter. But I think even more importantly, after this frustrating night from Zach, where you mentioned his inefficiency, couldn't knock down a 3, regardless of the looks that he was getting, Zach had 10 of his 21 in the fourth quarter. You and I and our pal John and everybody has talked about Zach LaVine and whether or not he could be a guy who gets it done in crunch time. When he didn't have a whole lot of help, we saw a frustrated Zach not only not getting calls, but turning the ball over, forcing bad shots late in close games over the last couple of seasons because he felt like he was out there by himself. But I think it speaks volumes that on a night like tonight, where the game was mucky and he was pissed at the refs, Zach had 10 points in the fourth quarter to help the Bulls close this game. He and DeMar combining for 18 fourth quarter points. Is there a better fourth quarter duo in the NBA right now, Dave?
No, it's not, Matt. And I'm not just saying it because I'm a Bulls fan. I'm saying because the numbers say there aren't a better fourth quarter team fourth quarter duo in the NBA other than DeMar DeRozan and my man Zachary Attackary. And I just love how Zach plays like that, Matt. It was because he was off. Like, the shots just weren't falling. Like, the threes we've usually seen him hit, he just wasn't hitting tonight. So when players go through that and they have those kind of nights, usually they find solace at the free throw line. We've watched James Harden do it his whole career. We watched guys, Steph Curry will do it if he's not on. Like, that's just really what good players and what happens to them. They get to the free throw line and are able to find their rhythm and find their scoring that way. That's the level Zach has been trying to get to like, man, I'm off, but you know what? Let me get to the bucket. Let me draw fouls. Let me do it like that, and we'll see. The one play, Matt, in that fourth quarter when Zach went up and he got fouled clearly, and they didn't blow the whistle
Oh,
because they
that
were
was
waiting to see if he was going to hit the
the
shot.
latest whistle. Oh my goodness.
They was just waiting to see if he was going to score. Like, is he going to score? Is this going to go in? We'll see if it goes in. It didn't go in.
Right.
All right, foul. Like, I hate that stuff. Like, just call the foul. You see it. It's a foul.
Stacey called it out on the broadcast too. He's like, that's what NBA refs do, and it's BS. If it's a foul, it's a foul. Don't wait to see if it goes in. Because guess what? If it goes in, it should be an and one.
Yes, easy. And one. I don't like it. It feels like they're trying to start more of a rivalry thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Bulls and Knicks are tough. No, we're not going to do it like that. We're going to call it this way because it's the Bulls and Knicks. Just call the game correctly is all I'm asking you to do. We're going to find solace in not liking each other. Do you see the guys after the game high-fiving and hugging? This ain't the 90s no more, family. like, this is a different time frame, all right? You don't need to help it out. Everybody out there wants to win. Everybody out there wants to do what's best for their team. You don't need help in that instance, man. Just call the game. We're not here to see you. We're here to see Zach and all the other great players. Please.
Indeed. All right, lots more to get to in this game. Interesting quote from DeMar DeRozan post-game that I want to get to, and more thoughts on just how awesome DeMar DeRozan is. Plus, we got to talk about Coby White. First, though, I did some betting on not only NBA basketball but NFL Sunday today because, of course, I did. Had a nice hit on a parlay in NFL lines earlier today. But if you are an NBA junkie, you got to check out Prize Picks because it is daily fantasy made easy. I love it, and I know you will too. Prize Picks has the best NBA DFS prop game on the market. It offers more NBA props than any other DFS prop operator and offers all the superstar players as well as those bench players only recording a handful of minutes each game. You could have put a bet on Coby White dropping some bombs tonight. Prize Picks offers any prop you can think of. And everybody who signs up with an account and uses promo code NBA will receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks also allows mixed sport entries. So the Bulls, second night of a back-to-back tomorrow against the Pacers. Maybe put the over on DeMar because that's automatically guaranteed. And, I don't know, over on the number of touchdown passes for Big Dave's boy, Thomas Brady. You can hit on that too. Use the award-winning app on both the App Store and Google Play. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. Plus, Prize Picks is safe and offers fast withdrawals. So don't hesitate. Check out prizepicks.com and use promo code NBA to get that 100% instant deposit match up to $100, or go to your App Store and download the app today. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy.
Well, guys, look here. You had a full game today. You watched the Bears earlier. They were on. And then tonight you had the Sunday night football game. They were on. And then you had the Bulls game going. Guess what? WWE Survivor Series is also going on. Cowboy Bebop is out on Netflix. You want to watch everything. So you got 18 remotes. You're yelling at your kids because you don't know the login. And it's just really destroying your entire weekend. Well, guess what, guys? The same thing Matt have told you about Coby White. Chill, because we got the remedy for you. It's called DirectTV Stream, and it brings all your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before. So you can watch your favorite sports, your favorite movies, and all your favorite shows all in one place. That means no more juggling those remotes. That means no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part, there's no annual contract. So get rid of that clutter, get rid of the confusion, and get your TV together with DirectTV Stream. You can learn more at DirectTV.com. That's DirectTV.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
We roll along here, breaking down this Bulls win over the Knicks. Shout out to everybody hanging out with us on YouTube. We'll get to some of your comments at the back end of the show. And Zach on YouTube saying Zachary Attackery and the DMVP. Maybe the new nickname for DeMar, DEMVP. After the game tonight, DeMar DeRozan on the Bulls continuing their fourth quarter dominance. This is a fourth quarter team, which is a nice change of pace considering what we've seen in recent years is the Bulls are in a game, the Bulls are ahead in the game, the fourth quarter happens, and we come out on the losing end. DeMar, as I mentioned, 8 of his 31 in the fourth, is seeing to that. he said after the game, everybody knows their role, and that's why we are able to close these games in the fourth quarter. And the role that DeMar is playing, Big Dave, and we talked about this a little bit, like Zach had 10 points in the fourth quarter tonight, and good for him. But anytime this Bulls offense is struggling, as they were in the third quarter, early fourth before they turned it around, DeMar finds his spots on the floor, knocks down his mid-range buckets. I think Casey Johnson had a tweet after yet another DeMar mid-range that was like, the Knicks are just like letting DeMar get his layups. And by layups, I mean that mid-range. It's unstoppable. This was his 6th 30-plus point game of the season, Dave. Can we please put some respect on DeMar DeRozan's name?
Listen, man, y'all just believe in Debo and what he's doing out there, man. This dude has been special for the Chicago Bulls, man. Matt, earlier in the game when he was playing, he looked a little off. Like the shots were just coming up a little short. You know, he wasn't getting those foul calls. You saw him get that technical and everything. I was like, oh, it looks like it's going to be a, tough night for DeMar DeRozan. But what happened to DeMar DeRozan? What did he do? He got to the free throw line. And that's what changed everything for him. 9 of 9 at the free throw line. And guess what? When he starts seeing that go down, guess what happened? Buckets. Guess what happened again? Buckets. Guess what happened after that? 3-point shot. Buckets. Like that's all that happened, and that's all that started occurring because he knew exactly what to do. It is very important to get to that free throw line. DeMar knows it, which is why he knows how to draw fouls and get there. But man, you're right, Matt. That mid-range is becoming a layup, man. And it's nothing you can really do about it because you can run those double teams at them if you want to. They're going to burn you. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get burned when you start doing those kind of things. And now when you have guys hitting open shots now, and I'm sure we'll get into that guy in a second, but when you got guys hitting open shots now, there's no way you can sit there and double team them. It's just impossible. So now you saw what happened. He gets Julius Randle on him. Clear out. I got it, guys. Clear out. Step back, buckets. He gets Noel on him. Step back, buckets. He gets Derrick Rose on him. Back down, turn around, buckets. Like he understands all situations and all scenarios and all ways to put that ball into the basket. And it's a joy to watch him do it in a Bulls uniform, man. DMVP. You got to put some respect on Debo's name, man. You got to, bro. It's looking mean, Matt. It's looking real mean.
And like, there's so many nicknames to go around. We got, S. Gordon in the YouTube comments saying DeBalzac. That is gaining some steam. Derek saying DeMarvelous. Tevin saying DeMarvelous Misfit DeRozan. I love that one. Middle name Misfit.
Nice. I like it.
I mean, my goodness. But like you said, sometimes if you try to stop DeMar and ISO and maybe, you get some of that help defense, finally in the fourth quarter, after an ugly third, we saw the Bulls making that swing pass, making that extra pass and finding the open shooter. And whether it was Coby or Derrick Jones Jr., who knocked down a big one, getting to that open shooter and taking and making those shots confidently, it's big. And it speaks volumes considering that this game looked like it was heading towards just being a yucky, mucky, ugly game. Yeah. But, you see the just like the veteran level of tranquility that DeMar provides on the floor late in these games. And as much as we are believers in Zach LaVine, and we've already credited him for his bounce back performance in the fourth quarter tonight, we do know that there can sometimes be that frenetic energy with Zach late in games where he's maybe forcing things a little bit. And when your team is needing a calm presence on the floor, there has been DeMar DeRozan. He has been the difference. This Bulls team is nowhere close to 12-5, which they are, without DeMar DeRozan. But there were some other elements of this game that we need to get to, including that big bounce back game from Coby White. We will do that in just a minute. But first, Big Dave.
Yes, sir.
Tell the people about Built Bar.
You know what it is. You know what you want. You know why you're here. And you're here because you know you want some Built Bars. The Zach Guilford approved Built bars. You want them, you need them. And you're sitting around and you want to munch on them and you're telling your people about them. And then your lady or your man is looking at you crazy like, what? You can't just sit around eating candy all day. You know what's going to happen to you. You can't do that. All you got to do is point to them and tell them low calorie, low carb, low fat, high protein. Most Built bars are only 130 calories and 4 grams of sugar with plenty, and I said plenty of protein. You're going to be set and you're going to be feeling good, and it's going to be the right thing to do. And now Thanksgiving's right around the corner. And now you don't want to eat all those pies. You don't want to eat all those cakes. You don't want to put all that on, because you got your sweatpants on and you're filled up. Well, guess what? You can still enjoy that beautiful tasting dessert by just going ahead and getting you a Built bar. Instead of that raspberry pie, get you that raspberry Built bar. They got an apple Built bar. And matter of fact, Matt, please, for the people one time, can you tell them what the flavor of the month is on Built Bar?
There's a brand new one right now, baby, and it's called Vanilla Cream. And it basically tastes like an ice cream sundae in the shape of a protein bar.
Shut up! That is ignorant, and that is beautiful, and it is delicious. So go ahead and get you one. So guess what? You go to Built.com. Use that promo code LOCKED15. Get yourself 15% off that order. That is LOCKED15 to get yourself 15% off your order at Built.com. Built Bar! Get you some vanilla cream up in here. Woo! That just excited me.
Rolling along on Sunday night, breaking down this Bulls win over the Knicks. Shout out to Alfred, who's hanging out with us on YouTube all the way from the Philippines, who's chipping in yet another nickname, DeMar DeRozan, a.k.a. Mid-Range Rosen. I like that one. I haven't heard that one before.
That's a good one. I dig it.
Before we get to Coby White, Big Dave, Zach in the YouTube comments threw this stat at us, and I haven't fact-checked this, but I'm going to trust Zach. Said, speaking of stats, amazing stat here for DeMar and the Bulls. Record for most points scored for a Bull in franchise history through their first 16 games of a season. Michael Jordan, 424. DeMar DeRozan, 424.
And here's the thing, Matt. He broke that tonight. Because I saw that say that
really?
Is now the leader. He broke that tonight. That was in the second quarter when he tied him in at that 424. He broke that tonight.
Wow.
That 2 nights. He broke that. Amazing, y'all. Amazing. Incredible. Special is what DeMar DeRozan has been.
Incredible. Okay, let's now talk about the other big difference maker for the Bulls in the fourth quarter as they came back and took this game from the Knicks. And that is Coby White, who we have seen got his first action this season midway through that West Coast road trip, clearly trying to still knock off some rust, not confident in his game quite yet, maybe still doesn't have his full physical capabilities and range of motion after that shoulder surgery. Coby White, after tonight's game, let's start the conversation here. I knew all the work I put in during the time I was out. I knew it was going to take some time. I haven't played in 6 months.
Say that again, Matt. No. Say that again.
I haven't played in 6 months. I'm on a new team. I knew a game was coming. No one was rushing me, the front office and coaching staff. Coby White tonight, and there were plenty of people on Bulls Twitter in earlier moments in tonight's game saying, Coby. I even had an Coby tweet when he was in transition. The Bulls looked to have a 3-on-2 fast break. He had Derrick Jones Jr. running down the left flank, and he tried to go up to the rim himself, got trapped between 2 big Knicks trees, and it ends up being a turnover. And that was after a moment where Coby had another kind of head-scratching moment in this game, frustration building, and then the fourth quarter happened. Coby has looked hesitant with his catch-and-shoot 3 opportunities so far, but tonight he had some big opportunities with that lethal 3-point shot of his, and he shot confidently. He knocked down some big ones, 10 of his 14 in the fourth quarter, Big Dave.
You know what? I'm trying my best not to yell right now because I know it's still more coming. He's getting acclimated. So I'm not going to go all the way in on everybody like I want to. I'm going to chill a little bit because he still needs time to get reacclimated, guys. He still isn't back yet. He still got to get reacclimated. Matt, I knew this was coming when I saw him miss layups. That's when I knew. I talked about that on the last show, the one we did before the voicemails. I talked about it. I said, dude, he's missing layups. Coby White don't miss layups. Something ain't right yet. He got to get right. As soon as I saw that happen, I was cool. And when I watched him this game, Matt, and again, like I've been telling you, I'm watching the other things that he's doing. I did see him foul the three-point shooter. We saw that happen. He got stuck on that screen, and he fouled that three-point shooter. Can't do that. You're right. And then that play with Derrick Jones happened after that. Then what happened? I tell you what, I never saw Coby get lost on that defensive end. I didn't see it. I didn't see Coby get stuck on another screen. I didn't see that happen either. I saw Coby continue to play. And like he said, he's got the right team around him because his teammates believe in him and they are going to support him, which is what Bulls fans should be doing as well. Believe and support the dude who has only played 4 freaking games in 6 months. He has played 4 games in 6 months. You stop doing anything for 6 months, anything, and then see how you look like when you come back and you do it on a bigger stage and you do it on a stage in front of everybody. See how you look. I don't care what it is that you're doing. Stop doing it for 6 months. Watch what happens to you. It's going to be different, and it's going to take you some time to get reacclimated to it. And Matt hit that good point on the head right here. When he balled out, guys, the 4th quarter, that's when the money time, and it's got to happen, and you got to have it. Let me tell you also what I love too, Matt, so much about this Bulls team, and we talked about support. That first three-pointer that he hit from the corner, the first one that he hit from the corner, when it got kicked out to Alex Caruso was wide open. Wide open. What did he do, though? No, Coby, you need this. You need to score. You need to get stuff reacclimated. You need to feel better about yourself. You get that. Oh, bet. Coby shot went in, and they showed Caruso at that. Well, he was so happy for Coby, yelling at Coby. He was so happy. So what does Coby do on his next shot? Other baseline, three-pointer, cash money. We got a little rhythm going now, don't we? So now you get to the 4th quarter, cash, and he's feeling good about himself. And Billy Donovan, again, Matt, putting trust in Coby White, letting him play longer, letting him get more minutes. How many minutes did he have? Like 20-something minutes tonight?
He had 21.
Supposed to have. He was on a 10 to 16 minutes restriction. Nope, not tonight. He was feeling it tonight. And he wasn't hurting you on the defensive end. And that's the important part of this, guys. When Caruso fouled out, he put Coby back in the game. And he said, no, you go back in. It's cool. I trust you. Go do your thing. And that's the whole key of this, guys. He's getting better. He's getting reacclimated, especially on the defensive end. And then at the end of the game, Matt, what did you see? You saw Zach LaVine and his other teammate come up with cups of water, pouring it all over his head. And then Zach LaVine yelling at him, welcome back. Welcome back. Because those guys love Coby White and they believe in him and they know they're going to need him. And we're just going to need to do the same for him, Bulls fans. It's a long season and you're going to need Coby White. Oh, congratulations, Coby.
And like, I think you made a really good point there with the fact that Billy Donovan still showed his confidence in Coby after Coby had some of those rough moments. You mentioned fouling the three-point shooter. I mentioned the turnover on the fast break opportunity. Also, missed some good, bunny looks around the rim, as we've already seen him do on the back end of that road trip. But the fact that Billy Donovan said, Coby, I need you tonight. And they did. Shout out to Derek on YouTube, who mentioned that the Bulls really need Coby's offensive punch off the bench because the Knicks bench brought it tonight. They got 13 from Burks, 12 from Quickly, 10 from Toppin, 9 from D Rose. That is a strong bench production, and the Bulls' offensive production off the bench has been lacking. And
Mhm.
yeah, part of that is because we got some bench players in our starting lineup because we got guys out. But
Right.
when you need somebody to give you that off the bench, that's what you and I have been saying since Coby came back. And despite the fact that it's been a slow comeback, let Coby get his legs under him. Let him gain some of that confidence. Let him get to know his brand new teammates, for crying out loud. He missed training camp. And Zach LaVine is the only guy that was here. Or I guess, Vooch for a handful of games last season, but Vooch isn't here. So literally everyone other than Zach LaVine on the floor right now, Coby has never played with before in his NBA career.
That
And
is
he
a
said as
fact,
much
though,
after
sir.
the game. Brand new team. And I was out for 6 months. So maybe, just maybe, chill, and again, Billy Donovan, hopefully, showing confidence in Coby in a big game like that tonight only builds Coby's confidence moving forward so that we can continue to get those kind of big performances from him, because the Bulls are going to need him.
They're going to need him, man. And it was just good to see it, and I'm sure it felt good for him. But it's funny. The first question they asked Coby in that interview, when Stacey and Jason Benetti, who were awesome tonight, by the way, when Stacey and Jason Benetti asked him, the first question they asked, like, Coby, when did you feel like you had it tonight? What was that moment on the court? You feel like you had it? He said, when I got here, when I got to the arena, I felt like I had it. And you know what I'm saying? I was expecting him to be like, maybe the fourth quarter, you know what I'm saying, or something like that, or after my first three-pointer. No, when I walked in the building, I felt like I had it. That's saying a lot, man. And Matt, if you're watching Coby White, the mistakes that I'm used to him making over those past 2 years, I'm starting not to see a lot of it anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's the stuff I'm looking at. Again, I'm not looking at the scoring, because the scoring is going to occur. I know Bulls was bugging on the scoring. That's going to happen. He's going to score. I'm looking at the other stuff. He still fouled the three-point shooter, and then he went to the bucket, 1-on-3. That's the old Coby stuff. My thing is, he used to repeat those mistakes. Those mistakes used to be consistent with Coby White. It felt like he made that mistake, and then he learned from it. That's what it felt like. He felt like, I saw it, it happened, okay. Usually they get down on me, they'll snatch me out the game at this point, you know what I'm saying, or anything like that. No, Billy Donovan's like, I'm leaving you in. No, Caruso's like, I'm giving you the ball. No, Lonzo Ball's like, yo, let's keep running and doing our thing. No, Zach LaVine is still like, dude, we practiced this, you know what to do. The confidence of having a team around you that believes in you, it can't be undervalued, guys. It just cannot be undervalued. It is important because they know the importance of young Coby White. It is just beautiful to see it, and hopefully this is the beginning of him getting, to that level that you and I know that he can be at.
Absolutely. Chicago Bulls Central chiming in, hanging out with us on YouTube. What's up, Jamal? If you guys aren't subscribed to Chicago Bulls Central and our guy Jamal, you should be. Good to see you hanging out with us, buddy. Jamal said, Coby showing up is exactly what we need and will need for bench scoring going forward. Also add to that, DJJ being more of a factor.
Ooh.
Derrick Jones Jr. tonight, 8 points, 7 boards, 4 offensive boards tonight. Jones always attacking that offensive glass. You'll have to see that. Quick shout out. Hope his testicles are okay. That looked painful. That looked painful.
Oh, man. And also, Matt, I want to shout out to seeing Vooch on the bench. That warmed my heart as well. Seeing Vooch on the bench just made me feel better. And I'm like, okay, he's on the bench. He's with the team. That means things are going good. You know what I'm saying? That he can be around people again. So I'm happy to see that. Hopefully we can take a little more time because, the schedule, the gauntlet is about to be a wrap. And we got, Rockets and all these other teams. He can, take his time or get reacclimated. Hopefully, I just hope he's ready for Saturday because that's the only game that's going to matter to me.
Indeed. Before we get out of here, I did want to give a shout out to Alex Caruso. I know he had a challenging night. He did end up fouling out of this game late in the fourth quarter. He took a charge in the middle of a Bulls run that swung the game back in their favor when he had 5 fouls. And early, dude, Randall ended up having a monster night. I think he had 34. But there were some moments early on where I was like, oh my God, we got Caruso guarding Randall. And then you were like, oh, Caruso can kind of guard Randall. Like, it's crazy. Lonzo had some strong defensive moments when he got paired up against Randall as well. Like, yes, Randall, the Bulls are undersized and Randall had a monster night. You kind of had to see that coming. But even in a night where he fouls out, you can't understate just what it is that Alex Caruso is bringing to this team on a nightly basis.
You can't. It cannot be understated. It's amazing, guys. He's guarding the best player on the team, and the best player on the team is a power forward, and he's guarding him, and well, like, he's doing a solid job. Like, I'm not saying he's gonna just be stopping him, because obviously it's Julius Randle. Like, he's gonna do his thing. What do you have, 34 and 10? Because it's Julius Randle. Okay, he's gonna do that. But he bothered him on earlier in that first quarter when you saw Julius Randle just shove him to the ground because Caruso was getting on his nerves, man. You know what I'm saying? I credit him also with the great job that they did on the RJ Barrett tonight, who played a lot of minutes, but only ended up with about 9 points. Alex Caruso and Lonzo Ball. Remember, I told you Lonzo Ball first team on defense? Remember, I keep telling you that, all right? Because it's true, all right? Kendall Gill is on board with me too, and that feels good as well. But yes, Alex Caruso is just amazing to watch, Matt. And also, Matt, got to send a shout out to my man, Tony Bradley. Got to send a shout out to that man, Bradley. 7 points, 4 rebounds. This is all I want. It's all I want. And he got it all basically in the first half. That's it. And he didn't do anything else. That's all I said he needs to do. Just do. When they give you layups, hit the layup. All right. Get a rebound. Block a shot or two, and then go chill. And then you can relax and for the rest of the game, and it'll be all right. So kudos to Tony Bradley, because you needed all 7 of those points. You need all the points that Coby White gave you as well. You're going to need these guys down the stretch. They are very important to your bench, man. But Alex Caruso, my God, he's amazing. He's amazing.
That is a fact. All right. That'll do it for tonight. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us on YouTube Live. If you aren't subscribed to Locked On Bulls here on YouTube already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed tonight's episode. Tell your friends about us as well. Again, shout out to Jamal and Chicago Bulls Central. Go give that a subscription as well. The Bulls back in action tomorrow night, home against the Central Division rival Indiana Pacers. The Bulls trying to get to 13-5. As of tonight, 12-5 gives them a tie for first with Brooklyn atop the Eastern Conference. That's That's a cool thing that's true. For Big Dave, who you can follow on Twitter at BAWL, BAWL Sports. I am Matt, who you can follow on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. You can follow us at Locked On Bulls. Saying thanks as always for hanging out with us, Bulls Nation. We will talk to you next time. See Red, be good. Peace out. What's up, Coby?